into the continuation of the top 50 underrated rappers in hip hop history. This is my book that I self-published a decade ago. Still have relevancy, still relevant, even though it's a decade old, book that I did. You don't have to buy it. Just doing this for great creative content on my channel. Yo, the funky Homo sapien. Way too funky. He definitely was, man. He come from, excuse me. Coming from the West Coast, man. He was the founder of the rap clique, the Hieroglyphics. He played a key role in fueling the rise of P-Funk influenced jams. What made Del so unique was incorporating humor into his rap repertoire. He was different from his cousin Ice Cube. Del made his debut in 1991 with his album, I Wish My Brother George Was Here. The title of the album was a reference to funk legend George Clinton. So the album became a benchmark debut due to the humor and wit that was good-natured. The hits off the album was Mr. Dabalina, Dr. Bombay. The album was a commercial success. The next album was No Need for Alarm in 1993. The album was different from the P-Funk oriented music that was displayed on his first album. Del produced the album along with his crew, the Hieroglyphics. The two songs that stood out was Catch a Bad One in the Wrong Place. Overall, No Need for Alarm was a golden age Hieroglyphics classic album. Overall, Del the Funky Homo sapien laid down the groundwork for Souls of Mischief, The Far Side, Diggable Plans to follow the blueprint that he created. He was influential. He definitely influenced a lot of the groups that came after him. When I did this, the research on Del, this is what I saw. And that's why I said this book is not about just the East Coast rappers. It's about all rappers, man. What region they come from, they were underrated. And Del the Funky Homo sapien, being from the West Coast, definitely was a founder of the rap clique Hieroglyphics, and the things that he did definitely represented a lot and opened doors for other groups to follow the groundwork, the blueprint that he laid down. So he deserved to be on this list, because you talk about Del the Funky Homo sapien. You think he's the greatest ever? No, people not gonna think he's a great rapper, but he's one of the best, one of the more underrated best rappers. Underrated in that category. He's just not, critically acclaimed. You know what I'm saying? He definitely did his thing. Thanks for hitting the like button. Appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Del the Funky Homo sapien was definitely unique. Coming out in the early 90s and doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing that's impressive about this guy, because the gangster rap was very heavy in the West Coast. So it's tough to stand out and do something different than following the trend. The Far Side was different. Souls of Mischief, they were different. Del the Funky Homo sapien was different. They were doing different things that the West Coast artists, with the gangster stuff, was doing. So it was hard to stand out. So for him to do that is even more impressive. When you're overwhelmed by all this other stuff going on, it's tough to stand out, create your own niche. And he was able to create his own lane, found rap clique, the Hieroglyphics, do something different than what was going on at the time. And I think that's the thing that stands out when you talk about Del the Funky Homo sapien. So that's why I had to put him at number 34, because I think he's very underrated, truly underrated MCs to touch the mic. So I had to put him at number 34. So wait, I'm doing the right video. While I'm talking about Del the Funky Homo sapien, I'm supposed to be talking about MCA, number 36. So I just messed it all up for myself. I'm gonna say the same thing on the next live feed. My bad, my apologies. It's supposed to be about MCA. I'm gonna be doing this because I got flagged on my YouTube channel, so because of music, so I'm doing it over again. I meant to talk about MCA. I'm gonna talk about him right now. He was from Compton, California. His stage name was inspired by Keras One's name. He chose A because of the hood culture, including Old English 800 and caliber firearms. He was the de facto leader of Compton's Most Wanted. The group made its debut in 1990. It's a Compton thing. The album had its hits such as One Time, Got From Him Up, Late Night Hype, Straight Checking Him in Next 91. But songs like Duck Sick, It's a Compton Thing. Then next 92, the music to Drive By became the group's most commercially successful album. Dead Men Tell No Lies and Hit the Floor was the songs that stood out. And then made a movie as an actor in Menace to Society. Straight Up Menace was his defining song for MCA. Then he did his thing on the solo side, We Come Strapped. That was his best album, solo group. All for the Money, that was a great song. I remember that very well. G's Make the Hit Go Around. This album was the #1 on the charts. Billboard Top R&B Hip Hop Albums. Certified Gold. Yeah, so my apologies, man. I was supposed to do one on MCA. Thanks for the 3 people hitting the like button. Thanks for the 20 people tuning in. Appreciate your time. Yeah, I'm supposed to do MCA. 27 people tuning in. Appreciate it, man. 4 people, thank you. MCA, man. I was supposed to do one on him, and which I'm doing right now. I'm talking about Delta Funk Home State. That's supposed to be for the next live feed. Which come back for that. I'll break that down even more if he was late to this live feed. It's supposed to be on MCA. MCA was definitely underrated, man. From the West Coast, doing his thing from Compton. That was something refreshing to see him speak on his side of things on the West Coast, because everything's not just based on the East Coast. I'm from the East Coast myself, but you got looking at hip hop, it's not about just East Coast. West Coast has something to say, the South has something to say, Midwest rappers have something to say. It has skills. Sometimes people just want to be biased, just limit everything to the East Coast. That's why when I wrote this book, the top 50 underrated rappers in hip hop history, MCA was on my mind because I knew how underrated he was. I remember what he was doing. I remember the movies Menace to Society. I remember the stuff that he was coming out with, the Compton's Most Wanted. I definitely remember the solo album, We Come Strapped. I think I bought the cassette tape, I believe. I think I did in 94. Yeah, I remember that. The video. That sample from Tyrone Davis. In the Mood. The way he was sampling stuff like that. Yeah, he sampled that and did his thing. It became a hit record, hit album for him to go solo. And he was doing big things. Like I say, he was in, Men's Society was a hood movie, a cult classic with Lorenz Tate and those guys. I think, and who else was in the movie? I think Jada Pinkett Smith was in the movie. I'm saying, so that was when the peak of the powers of the hood movies. It was out at the time in the 90s. But like I said, I mean, that was just something that was amazing at that time. That's why I want to put MCA on the list when I did this book. So my apologies, man. I talked about the wrong rapper, the Funky Homo Sapien. I'm supposed to say that for the next one. What I'm thinking. So appreciate the time. I'm going to stop right here. Appreciate the 4 people hitting the like button. Keep supporting the channel. Appreciate it. Till then, talk to you soon.